welcome to another episode of Just Us Dads. Thank you for tuning in to another Dadversation. Chris and George are both here. Welcome, boys.
Hey.
Hola.
They're both waiting for each other's turn. Like, who's going first? Just before we get started, remind you all, if you haven't done so yet, there was a new blog that was released earlier this week on Monday. Go check it out. It's a super interesting blog about grades and if they really do matter. Chris put in a lot of thought in that one, so it's a great little blog. You can go read it. It reads very quickly. Also follow us on all the social media platforms and all the audio platforms as well. Support our YouTube page and everything else that we do and everywhere else that we're on. We will appreciate that. Guys, busy week today.
Don't you have to tell them that you have to smash the like button?
Smash that like button.
All right, now I feel better.
Yeah,
All right. All right, good.
How is everything, guys?
Good, man. Good. It's a crazy day, crazy week. A lot of work.
You know what's funny? We're talking about it with my wife the other day.
You know what's funny? None of us shaved this week.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I trimmed. So I'm clean. Nice. I took care of myself.
That's clean. That's a clean cut.
No, it's not. I trimmed. It's not like
Okay.
how bushy George's is or yours.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Mine, there's like 16 colors here. There's white, gray, brown, everything.
I got a skunk thing going.
You got a skunk thing. I never even noticed. Lift your chin up. It's like a stripe. He's right.
Yeah.
No, you know what's funny? I was telling my wife the other day because in the last couple of years, I feel like winter has been easier than it was when we were young. Like, the snowfall usually comes like mid to end of December. It's pretty relaxed, and then usually February kicks in and screws us in the ass, and then everything seems to kind of be.
Well, I wasn't expecting that expression.
Yeah,
that threw me off.
Sorry, February comes out of nowhere, man. And,
no, I meant the screws you in the ass. That's what took my attention.
Screws you. Anyway, and so it's just funny because the other day I go to fucking February. We don't know what to expect in February, and it just seems that as soon as February came along, it just screwed us.
Wait, you don't like the snow?
I hate snow.
The snow is the problem.
Yeah, I don't like.
Yeah, I can't. I don't mind the snow. I hate the cold. I hate the minus.
Man, the cold.
More than -5, I'm miserable.
Man, the cold you can get dressed. You can get.
No, I don't care. No.
The snow.
Wait, I'll take 50 centimeters of snow over sun, -30. They keep the -30. That's a fucking the ass right there.
No, man. What are you talking about?
Fuck that. I hate
-30.
I can't stand it.
You know what? The truth is that I hate both the cold and the snow. But if I had to choose, I'll pick the cold.
I'll pick the snow.
And it's the whole point is that February came along and it screwed us. You know what I mean? It's like, but at the end of the day, it's 1 month, man. It's almost done. We're almost halfway there, and hopefully March.
That's optimistic, there. That's optimistic.
Yeah, man. Do you guys remember when we were younger, man? I remember trick or treating in snow, like end of October, early November. I remember that.
Costume with a winter jacket on top.
Yeah, that felt like an endless winter. Now, a month and a half, no big deal. Like this winter, we can't really complain. Seriously.
I complain. I hate it.
Yeah, I complain too. I got to be honest with you, but not as much as previous years. Like, I mean, we can't complain. The snow just got here, dude, a week ago. Like before that, we had nothing. You know what I mean? It was. We built a snowman for that competition, and I rolled the ball, and there was pieces of grass on my snowman.
I will never be okay with it. I will always complain, even if it's just one fucking day.
No, man, can't take it. Take me up north and with snow, no problem. It's beautiful. It's nice and white. It's nice. But in the city, man, it's just annoying. It's horrible.
Yeah, the snow's piling up though. It's piling up on my neighborhood. They were supposed to pick up the snow yesterday, and they didn't. And you know why?
Yeah.
Because one truck broke down.
They only have one?
That's what I'm asking. There's one truck, that's it, done. Whole neighborhood condemned.
Sorry, our truck broke down. We can't. Shut down the operation.
Yeah, that's it.
Montreal.
Everybody go.
We're going to talk about something very interesting today, folks. We're going to talk about kids about money.
Sorry, guys.
And I know
I'm a little off today.
fine. I know Chris is big on this. I'm not there yet. I'm not sure where George stands. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. I think it's very important. I think we're headed into like this new age where it feels like kids should be educated about things that perhaps we weren't. And I definitely did not have any financial education at home. You know what I mean? Never, never, never. We got money at the like once a week, maybe on Friday when we hit high school, maybe I think, and it usually was around Friday because we finished early. I remember. So my father would just, I think he was giving $5, $10, something like that, and sometimes it was enough to even last for the following week, you know. But there was never anything to kind of understand.
You would buy the bazooka gums.
The bazooka gums, or
Remember those 5 cents?
no, the other one with the because I would collect hockey cards, so you would get the Opeachy. I think it was the Opeachy, and it had a little gum inside. That thing was hard like a rock. You couldn't, but you still eat it. But the bazooka was good.
Yeah. 5 cents.
5 cents, man. Yeah. What does gum cost now, anyway? You can't get those individual now. You got to get the big.
Pack, $1.50 a pack. Is that it? Pack of 12? I don't know.
Whatever.
Everything's wholesale. You buy things in big quantities now.
Yeah.
You don't look at the price per unit anymore.
But in general, I wasn't in a house where we were taught like any type of financial literacy. Probably because my parents didn't have any. Like that's the truth.
As it was very basic. Don't spend.
Yeah.
Don't spend the minimum. Don't give it to anybody else. It's all for you. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't give it to anybody else.
But the funny thing is, because when I started working, and then you started making money, and I started working like a really young age. Like at 14, I was working. I was a busboy. You know what I mean? So, you know, there was money coming in. I mean, it wasn't amazing money, but I mean, for a 14-year-old, how much do you need? You know, you're making a couple $100 a week. It was a lot of money for me. It was like, what the hell is going on here? And it was just flying out. I was just wasting it. Nothing was staying. And the only thing I remember, to get to George's point, save your money, keep your money. You know how many times my mom, she's like, why don't you give me your pay and then I'll give you money every week. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is my money. I work for it. This is mine. You're not touching it. You know?
You didn't trust her to give it over to you when you wanted it.
She knew what she was doing. I didn't, you know. But yeah, no, we didn't have that kind of mentality, that kind of education, because and we're going to get to Chris, because Chris has a cool little system that he's implementing with his kids, or at least the older one.
The older one.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun, and I think it's interesting, and I think a lot of kids should have that sort of education at home. But at the same time, it also comes from the parents, right? I mean, if the parents are also in a mentality where they don't know how much money we need to waste or spend, what do we need versus what we want, and that sort of mentality, then obviously it's not going to be passed down to the kids, you know?
Yeah.
This is it's a big subject, man. It's a little touchy. It's a little touchy, right?
But and a lot of it, like for me, we didn't get much education about it either. It was just don't waste it. The best you can, don't waste it. That was my father's, don't waste it. Don't waste it for nothing. Don't waste it for nothing. Don't waste it for nothing. Don't do things that are, think long term, things like that. It was never really a strategy. Something that's pretty much something you have to figure out on your own. But I was obsessed with money since a very young age. My sister was telling me actually a few months back, and I had totally forgotten. I was sick. I just wanted it. I wanted a lot of it. I wanted it saved. I wanted to look at it. I wanted to know I had it. I wanted more of it.
What are we talking about here, George?
Starting at the age of 5, 6, I was obsessed with money always. And I find my sons a little.
How do you become obsessed? Is it your parents always telling you don't waste your money, save your money, keep it?
No, I mean, back then, how did like us? We buy all our kids toys now. Okay, I come to your kid's birthday, I bring toys. I go to Chris's. When my parents, my uncles or aunts or godparents or people like that would come, they slipped you a 20. 20. And then you go to the store with a 20 and you buy 3-4 things. And you get all this change back. I could keep going. What? This is powerful.
Yeah.
I recognize its power. I recognize the security in it really quick. I recognize that very young. So I was always obsessed how to hustle, get another job, if I needed to buy stuff, go work for a few months, get some cash. I was in high school. I worked on weekends. I didn't sleep. I go to school dead on Monday. Why? Because I wanted my pockets full. I was obsessed with that notion. And I see that a little in my older son. So he likes carrying it, like cash that he has. He has a wallet. He doesn't like putting it in his piggy bank because he knows if it goes in there, he can never have it in his hand again.
Yes.
He wants to bring it places so he can have that strength with him. You know, he wants to show that he has cash. So somehow the wallet's disappeared. We don't know where it is. Until we feel he's more ready to acknowledge that it's not a toy. It's not something you flash. It's something you take care of. It's something you put in the right places. And it's something you use for what you need and things like that. But he's not taking to those rules yet, so we're not ready to give it back to him. So we keep it for him. But I am going to let him decide what he's going to do with all of it. It is his. But I'm trying to get him to respect it. You have to respect the power. You have to respect its strength. You have to respect what it can do. And I think it only, like for me, I think it came at a young age. I don't know why. I used to watch my dad fold his bills and make them nice and straight and always nice and neat in his pocket. His cash was always organized. So I always used to try to mimic that, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
All these old Greek timers, man, they would walk around with stacks like this.
They loved the wine, and
they were all ordered properly. Like the
and when it was too big, they got a big elastic.
But you would never grab your dad's stash of money and see like flip it and have like the face on one side, then the next bill like upside down with the face there. Never. It was all aligned. It was
no. My dad, it was like the stack, lottery tickets, and a comb. Like it was all in there, man. It was just
the lottery tickets were there for sure. But all in the middle.
Yeah. It all came out. It all came out at the same time, you know.
The comb.
So I'm not really sure how to go about it with my son yet. Right now it's a subject that's not a subject because we've taken away the wallet, so he doesn't ask about it really. He knows he has a stash of cash. Obviously, we have what we have for him too. It's just that I want him to be able to say, okay, I have a stash there. I have this much. I can get this. I need this. I want to go buy this. I'm going to take that. That stays there. He wants to bring the whole wallet with him to the store. He wants to act bigger than he is, and I don't want him to drop it and lose it or somebody to rob him. You know.
Well, first of all, like, the question is, at what age do you try to make them understand what money is, how is it used, how to make it
early,
earn it, how to earn it, how to divide it. Like, do you want everything saved? Do you want to keep some for yourself? Like, what is the age where you can actually start having that conversation?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but I can tell you, my youngest is the polar opposite. He could not care less.
Yeah.
He might as well let him wipe his ass with money. He doesn't give a shit. I've told him you have to go to school, you have to learn, you have to get a better job, make some good money, have a decent life. I don't want money. What do you mean? What are you gonna do for money? He's like, you go work. I don't care.
Yeah. He's young.
I want to play. But the other guy at the same age, no, he wanted more money. He's like, give me chores to do. I wanted you to pay me. He was thinking like that. Because tell me what you want me to do so you can pay me to do it.
Because at the same time, don't forget that before a certain age, they don't understand the difference between 5, 10, and 100. You understand? Like 10 is like, wow, so much money. What?
Grade one usually.
You think they understand the difference between the value of 5 versus 100?
Yeah, when they start understanding how numbers build up, you know.
Yeah.
Chris, the increments.
What do you do? Like, well, how old was Gerasimo when you started to kind of implement the mentality?
I don't know how old he was, but I've always had a healthy relationship with money. And just like you guys said, how it was in your homes. In my house, it was a little bit like George's, bottom George. It was super frugal, right? Save, be cheap, don't spend. So, but that was like one part of the equation.
Don't let them fool you.
Yeah, exactly. They overcharged you. Like, you got to go back to the store. go get that 20 cents back. And it was like that. So like, obviously it taught me good saving habits. So I did take from that, but don't forget that they came from a mentality of scarcity, right? So they showed you one part of the equation, which was don't spend, but they weren't really, well, they didn't know much to show you how to make it. Yeah. So the mentality didn't come from abundance. It came from lack. So it was always safe because there's not enough money. So I don't want that. With Gerasmo, I don't know how old he was, but I remember always telling him about value. And kids are not dumb. Like kids know, they know the value of barter, right? Like they start at school. You know what to do at school? I have a chocolate chip cookie. Can I trade you my chocolate chip cookie for your granola bar? Yeah. It's like, you know what? I've had this many times. I value that more. So it's just showing them value. You know what? That things are valuable. Like I started telling him, you know what? Hot water costs more than cold water. Like when you take a shower and you're like there 45 minutes, it's fine. It's okay. We could afford it, but it costs more. Energy, be energy conscious. Close the lights. Turn off the lights. Sorry, you don't close the lights. You turn off the lights, right? Little things like that. So I just caught myself telling him little things like that. And then now it's more of a system. But I just find that we did that topic bad, right? That's what I was saying at the beginning. It's very taboo. Like there's taboo subjects. Like you don't talk around the table, like politics, right? But that's polarizing. I get it. Religion, that can be a little fanatical. You stay away from that. Sex, it's private. But money should be everyday conversation. You should be open about money because you know what? That's the one thing they need. Everywhere you go, they ask you for it. And you're right, George. Tsadrizo, you said it, man. It's intergenerational. That's why poverty keeps going through generations. It's intergenerational. And that's why wealth does the same thing. Because it's what do you teach your kids? And if you teach them scarcity and you teach them save and don't make and money's bad, think about it in your subconscious mind, right? Like, what are we trained to think? We're trained to think that we're taught to think that money is bad. I don't teach my kid money's bad. I tell my kid money's good. I'm not saying that's all you need. And you shouldn't worship it. But
when you say that, who says we have to teach them that? I mean, morally?
No. Well, look, man, think about it. Look at the sayings. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. Rich people are greedy.
Money doesn't grow on trees is about how you can't just keep spending. You have to make as well.
But what I'm saying is that these things are in a subconscious mind. And then what you do is if you keep telling people that, and okay, rich people are greedy and they're bad.
Think money grows on trees is a bad one?
Well, it's not that it shows that it's bad. It kind of insinuates that
it's scarce.
It's scarce. It's scarce, and you know what? There's a big pie out there, and you got to tell your kids they could go out and get that pile. There's an abundance.
Isn't it more about being diligent?
Yeah. Look, it's about a lot of things. First of all, look, man, I find that this should be in education in school, right? You know what? Along with history and arithmetic, right? You go to school, you learn your basic reading, writing, and arithmetic, right? So you do learn some math. Why not show people how to use money when you know that's one thing they need? Everyone talks about money, right? Everywhere you go, people ask you for it. You know what Ziegler said?
Because they say, no, you'll learn about that after you're 18.
No, not true. Not true. If you already have the bad habits.
You're going to learn about that when you're 21 and it's too late. You spent the first 40,000 you made.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not a bad, to me, it's not taboo. I'm very open. I talk about value. This is undervalued. This is overvalued. Like when we go to the store, it's going to be like, hey, what do you want? I let him choose whatever he wants. He picks it up. It's like, okay, how much does that cost? I don't know. How much do you think it costs? You know, I'm just trying to increase his financial IQ by a bit. That's all.
You're trying to give him his baseline.
Yeah. It's like, would you pay for that? What's $10? Okay, it's $10.
To develop a sense,
Yeah, I'll tell him the average person works that many hours to make that. Is it worth working that many hours to get that? Is it? You know?
You really go into like detail shit. Like I'm at a stage right now where
his son is twice the age of your own.
Yeah, my son is 11. We could talk like that, right?
See, like I'm at the stage where my daughters think there is an infinite amount of money.
That's good.
You know what I mean? There's like, let's get this, let's get that. And you try to explain to her, it's like, listen, we have to go to work. That's how we make money so that we can have our stuff and so you can have all your toys and all these things. So they believe that every time we go out, we need to buy a lot of stuff. Like that's why we go to the store. It's like,
because they've seen the spending side of money. There's
the fun part.
right. There's spending, there's saving, there's giving, and there's investing. And all of those teach some
And
kind of value.
They're all supported by earning.
Yeah, exactly. And I was going to get back to that. When my dad gives him money, I don't let him spend that. You know why? Because he didn't earn that.
Yeah.
He didn't earn that. That's the gravy. That's like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? You don't help them by giving. And the other thing I do, the allowance is never tied to a chore. Like chores, like his bed, all that stuff is part of being in a house, in a family. You don't get paid for that. You get paid for the extraordinary. You get paid for doing something else. You get paid for reading the book. You get paid for doing something, and it's like, wow, man, I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
Well, it works if you have like a base system where he gets an allowance.
Oh, it's up to you.
Give him an allowance now.
Oh, does your son have a base system like that?
No,
He
no
gets
allowance.
an allowance? Okay.
But the money he gets, I have like 6 jars, and he has all this stuff because
you've explained it.
Yeah, you need that.
Tell us.
And you don't need the 6 jars, but you need to know the concept. So
Okay, yeah,
the
tell us
saving,
this
right?
thing that you came up with it with the jars. Explain to everyone listening.
So it's I didn't come up with this. This is basic. Like you'll see this in like Richest Man in Babylon. You'll see this in Think and Grow Rich. There's a lot of books on this. Like there's a panoply of books, right? To go and get that information. So it's not even, oh my God, only the rich have this information. It's out there now.
Yeah.
Obviously, let's say $1 comes in, you cannot spend $1. Right? You got to put 20 cents here, 10 cents here, 10 cents. You know what I mean? You got to distribute the money well. So obviously, most people think I make $1, I spend $1. Some people think when $1 comes in, they spend 120. Yeah. So they're already 20 cents in debt.
Yeah.
Your dollar, when it comes in, I believe about 70% has to be saved. 10 could be invested. 10 can be saved. You know what I mean? When I say saved, is saving means you're working on your patience. Investing, you're learning that your money makes money, and that's what you want, right? Spending it or not spending it teaches you control. And giving, because that's a component too. Like I'm very big on giving. That teaches you generosity. So it's not just save or make. There's a whole education on it, and financial education is important. That's where I come from. I believe it's very important, and that's what I want to tell you. Like Zig Ziglar said, this is a funny quote, and like I quote him at least once a week. It's like, yeah, money is not that important, he says, but it ranks second to oxygen. It does, man. Think about it. You spend 8 to 10 hours of your day making it. Don't tell people. Don't tell your kids it's not important.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, happiness is not important. Well, money doesn't bring happiness, or I get that.
But it's okay to say it's not everything, which is not everything.
It's not everything, but it's not evil.
No, us too. I'm very pro dollars in here. I also teach them not to be wasteful. Like a lot of times, I'll tell his little brother, "Oh, don't do that," and Alex from the other side will be, "It's a waste of a napkin."
Yeah. You're teaching him, man.
He'll go turn off the light, and I'll hear him say to himself, "It's a waste of electricity." He says it to himself while he's turning off the light.
Wow, guys, I'm so far from being there. It's like honestly,
but it's not because I sat him down and gave him a course. Yeah. It's just I repeat myself, and I try to pass on the logic behind it.
It's repetitive,
and somehow we worked out the mechanics.
And you lead by example, man. That's why the first thing is that you have to be open about it. You have to talk about it. There's bills. We pay for this. Don't waste it. Like you said, George, respect it. You want to respect money. You want to respect money. Yeah, and another thing I'm doing now it's a little bit different. I'm showing him that you don't necessarily have to trade time for money. Like we have this, the go to school, right? Get a good grade, get a good job, you have a good life. Boom, it ends. There's more than that. Yeah. Especially now, today, there's more than that. So money is important. I find people that tell their kids money is not important, they're doing them a very, very big disservice. You need to increase your kids' financial IQ every day. And obviously, don't obsess, right? But money is not the rule of all evil. But if you're sitting there and you're saying money is not important, oh, rich people are not good, you know what? They're going to grow up hating it because people do what they see, what they hear, and what they experience. And then 30 years down the line, it's in their subconscious mind that money is not good. And think about it. When something is not good, you don't want it. like if you don't care about it, you're not going to make it, right? Let's say, George, do you care about turtles?
No.
No. So you're never going to own a turtle pet.
Yeah.
It sounds stupid, but it's that simple. If you don't care about a turtle, you're not going to have a turtle. If you don't care about money, guess what? You're not going to have any money.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
It is.
So tell everyone about the system. So he has his jars. What are the jars for?
The jars, and I think I saw this from, I first saw it from T. Harv Eker. The jar is like, let's say you have $10, right? Or he gets $50 or he gets $100. He has to split it in jars. So he has a saving jar, which is we put the money there for something that he wants to buy later, because kids, obviously, they don't make enough money to go buy a ball. Like buying a soccer ball might take 4 months, right? So that's save, delayed gratification. There's a jar that says financial freedom. This is for your future, right? And this one is the jar that we put in. So this is your savings, maybe for your education, maybe for an investment. If you want to start a YouTube channel like you want to start now, there's, that is for future. Then you have a jar that simply is a jar that you give. So some of your money has to go somewhere where you give. You got to contribute to your society. Even though, like, I think frugally, that is a very important component, and we give a lot every year, and you have to give. Yeah. All right. Then there's the other jar, which is maybe a long-term savings. So the jar, what it does is it just teaches them that when money comes in, it doesn't have to go out.
Yeah, but also
money comes in, pay yourself first, and then if there's anything a little bit left, then you could go spend it. But don't.
Yeah, but also it also gets them to think what's important. Okay, I got $20. How much do I want to put? Like, or do you divide it as like a formula? That
we divide it.
Minus
we have the.
Okay, or he doesn't decide. Okay, I want to put this much in that jar.
No. I look. I've written on the jars 5% here, 10% here, and then we do the math together. So that if you have $100, what's 10%? $10. Okay, let's go break it. I break it in tens for him. We're in 20s.
Yeah.
But this, and you know what? I do this for me.
Yeah.
I have obviously it's not jars that I have accounts, but I have accounts. You have a little fucking jars.
You walk into Chris's room, he has
little jars.
Yeah, 6 fucking 5-gallon jars.
Yeah, no, but it's important. And obviously now that he's a little bit older, we opened an account. I went with him. We opened an account. It's called the Little Leo Savings Account. So I put a high interest account and a savings. I got him a little card so he could get used to the transactions and put in. Obviously, there's a limit. He can't withdraw more than $20. But I find you're never too young to increase your financial IQ, man. I don't want him to have problems when he's older, just spending it, not saving it. I want him to understand it. And man, I find it's so important. And I feel people are still, not talking about it with their kids. You got to respect the money, man.
It's like you said,
a tool. It's a tool.
The education system has overlooked this, and it's what you. And the reason it is what you just said is because people get educated late if they ever do get educated.
100%. That I think, and we've even discussed it on previous episodes where about our education system and that the fact that it doesn't focus on things that would probably matter most, right? Look. Like I told you, I mean, I didn't grow up with that kind of mentality. I wasn't someone that saved money, and now I'm in that category where I had to kind of discipline myself at a later age, right? Mm-hmm. Especially when you're thinking, okay, look, where am I going in my life? You want to get married, you want to have a house, you want to have kids, and then you realize, geez, if I only kept like a little percentage of everything that I've made from the age of like 14, you'd be set. I mean, you would have no problem.
No, but you got to live too. You got to spend. Like, look. I don't want to sound like
that money from that age was not intended for saving. It was for fun.
Yeah, it was intended. Yeah, it was intended to spend.
Our parents didn't give us money for fun. They worked hard. They were going to give it for us to have fun. So we had to earn money to have fun.
Yeah,
so you gotta spoil yourself too a little bit.
That's it.
But you just got to be smart about it. And it's a tool. And you know what? For me, it is one of those things, it's like, it's one of those check marks, or it's one of those problems you got to solve quick in your life. At least get out of the way. I'm not saying become extra wealthy. I'm not talking about being rich. I'm just talking about, because you don't want to be poor. And I don't mean poor, African poor. I mean,
and a
like,
quick way to not be poor is go and make more fucking money. It's such a beautiful thing.
Well, like I think Jim Rohn said it this way: if you don't want to be, no, he said if you don't want to be, no, what did he say? If you want to help the poor people, don't become one.
Yeah.
Right. If you want to help poverty, don't be poor. You know what I mean? And look, I'm not talking about poverty like in Africa. That's a different kind of poverty. I'm talking about relative poverty, like in your neighborhood. Guys, if you're making 30 grand a year, you're relatively poor in Canada, but you don't have to make 30 grand a year. It's a ladder. You can go all the way up. Yeah. It's just more skill sets, a little bit different habits, right? And it's a different mentality. So you know what? Yeah, no, don't let your kid be there.
It's okay to be driven by it, man.
It's okay to want it. It's okay to think that money's good. You shouldn't have society make you feel bad for making money, right?
Especially, yeah.
And that's why I call it a taboo, because it's like, you know what? There's this whole stigma around money, and it's a tool. Don't you want your kid to use this tool? You know, I'm obviously like, look, the rich person, the really rich person and the really poor person have the same problem. They both think of money all the time, and that's a problem. So you know what I mean? So you don't want to be here, but you don't want to be here either. But use the tool to give you a great life. Whatever those skills that you develop are, use money as that tool to get you not being a slave quicker.
You know, I think what's important, what you said before, is about understanding the potential that you have and not putting, barriers where you're like, okay, $35,000. Well, that's what I'm making, and that's what I have to build my life around, right? Instead of not what I want my life, like instead of establishing what you want in your life and then making sure that you have what you need to make it.
Well said.
You're changing everything to accommodate whatever income you're getting, right?
Yeah.
And it's tough today, guys. And I don't know how it's going to be for our kids, but I remember when we were going into the workforce, okay. Well, I always worked. I mean, I don't think I've ever stopped from the age of 14. But let's say when we graduated university, it was pretty much standard to expect $35,000 to $40,000 a year. Okay, and that's what was being offered. We came out of university thinking, okay, I'm going to get a job at around $35,000. It's going to be okay. Today, that's what companies still want to offer, but because of all the tools that are available and everything that kids are exposed to, they're thinking, no, man, I'm going to go make $100,000, and it's unrealistic. You understand? Like the expectations are much higher than ours were, but the reality and the pay grade is probably relatively close to what it was still. So there's like this huge gap, I feel. And I've heard stories like this from all sorts of people and friends that have businesses and that need employees, and all these kids come from straight out of school and they're expecting like
because they've had everything and they don't value money.
Yeah.
And they don't understand. And I'm a big believer. Like Erasmo, as soon as he's able to work, he's going to go work and volunteer. You need both, and they're different things. You volunteer and you work. You got to work because you got to be able to take instruction in order to lead others. So you got to start there, and you got to have the mentality to serve others in order to do well. So you got to do both. But I just want to go back on what you said, Georgia, because I think you got it there, and it's a question of paradigm, right? We come from the generation, and I guess the generation and the mentality where it's like, pick a career, and whatever that career gives you, you accept. So let's say you want to become an accountant. Become an accountant, you'll get your 60, 70 grand a year, and you're going to accept the lifestyle that profession is going to give you or provide for you. But there's a different paradigm. There's a paradigm that says, I want to go make this much. What do I need to do in order to get there?
Right.
And that's a whole different way of thinking. And that didn't come from a Greek father that came to Montreal in 1975.
No.
You know what I mean? Or 66, yeah, whatever. Yeah,
absolutely not. And not only that, because it's not only how much do I want to make and what do I need to do to get there. It's what kind of lifestyle do I want, and what are the stages that I'm
Yeah.
not, what do I like, not to go from A to B directly. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I need to
A,
go.
B, C, D, E, F, G. You're gonna fall back to B, go back to
Like,
D.
you need to know, okay, these
Yeah.
are the stages, and it's going to take me like whatever 5-6 years. I'll attain that, that goal, and then from that point on, okay, what's the next step, and then what are the categories that I need to. I mean, we didn't go through that process, and I realized this very late when I started working actually in politics. We had an intern that came to work for us, and his family was pretty well off, and he attended like a very prestigious school in Montreal, and he had done his university in the US and all that stuff. And he had all these ideas and all these objectives and goals and stuff like that, and he kept referring to friends of his that he was in high school with, whose parents were very successful as well, right? And that was an eye opener for me, because our parents sent us to school thinking that you're going to go get a good education over there, and that's probably going to open up whatever door for you to have a successful life, period. These like this kid's parents were thinking, where can I send him so he can associate with people that are going to be able to carry him wherever he wants to be. You understand? Because everything that this kid wanted to do, he knew someone that he went to school with, that he was friends with, that either was there or whose parents were there, or who knew how to get there, or whose parents knew how to get there. Like, it was like this whole
No, but this is
ecosystem of successful entrepreneurs, businessmen, and all that stuff that had all this kind of gateway to like an infinite amount of resources that you need to get to wherever you want, right? You want
they basically
adventure,
paid
you
for a
want
really expensive
opportunity.
private school, or
Sorry?
they paid for like a really expensive
Yeah,
private
yeah,
school or
it's
something.
like it's one.
Well, let me just say that is a good mentality, and I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't value the school. It's indirect.
No,
It
exactly,
values the network.
exactly.
That kind of mentality values the network.
And it
And
comes
they
with a value.
that's
It
right.
comes with a value, of course, but you know that whatever you put in there in the long
Yeah.
in the long run, it's gonna it's gonna pay back whatever, tenfold, 20-fold, whatever it is, because
Yeah.
you're already making friends. And mind you, when you're going to high school, you're not thinking, what am I gonna be? Like, do I want to be an investor? Do I want to be a businessman when I'm 30? You don't think that. Like,
You follow your friends.
13, when you're 12, 13, you go to high school and you're chasing girls. You know what I mean? Like, that was in my head. So you're not thinking there, but down the line, that those 6 years or 5 years in high school, the friendships that you're going to develop are going to pay back in maybe 10 years after that, or 5 years after that. And it's going to pay back. It's going to pay back. And you probably don't realize it when you're going into school. You're not there yet mentally. But
Yeah.
when you're 25 and you know that your 10 closest friends have all this network, and they have all these resources, and there's all these things that are looking good for them, it's rare to it's almost impossible to think that you won't move up along with that crowd. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah, and there were
You can
like
picture them having an internship or in the summer with one of the kids. Well, maybe the dad has a really
yeah,
good
and
company,
Exactly. Like, you're interested in accounting, or you want to be an investor.
ahead.
Okay, that guy's father has a firm, or why don't you ask him? Maybe he can open up a door for you, or whatever.
but not only that, guys. In a lot of these like financial wealth books and get rich books and all that stuff. Sorry, a lot of the stories you hear that these guys went and worked for free just to be next to a mentor,
Exactly.
just to be next to somebody that could teach them, right? So it's like, I won't work, don't pay me for 2 years, but I want to absorb everything because I want to take advantage of your experience. Like, my dad would never say that.
No.
It's like, go get every dollar. If he didn't pay you for that hour, he owes you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a different mentality, man. And you know what? Things change, and we cannot think about it. We cannot give the same advice our parents gave us to our kids, because this is 40 years later, or 30 years later, right? In a different world. So now, like, that's I'm coming back to this. I'm kind of showing my son that you don't really have to trade time for money. You don't need to get a job. Don't think job. Think bigger. Think leverage. Think like entrepreneurial. Think online. You know what I mean? It's not like our generation. You could become an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist, an engineer, or like you tell your dad, I want to become a marketing consultant. And it's like, what's that?
They don't know. They don't
like, my dad still doesn't know. Like we have friends in marketing, and like I tried to explain to him once what my friend does, and it's like, so he doesn't even understand that.
That guy.
He's like, so why do you spend his time in school for nothing? That's what he says.
No, whatever it is, or if think about it, and then, or let's say your kid has big dreams, right? And you're somebody. Let's say, example, you're in that 50 grand. You're that 50 grand guy, which is fine. But let's say your son has different aspirations, different ambitions, and he wants to become a millionaire. You got it's never going to work out, because if you're a $50,000 a year person, how are you going to teach your kid how to go $1 million? It's two different mindsets. It's two worlds apart. Right. That's very important to understand. That don't kill his ambition because you just don't know how to do it.
No,
and it's important. You know what I mean? It's important for parents to understand.
Or because in your mind, the risk associated to it is so big.
Yeah, let him fail. Let him fail. He's come back and start all over again. It's fine.
Yeah.
So it is one of those topics where there's a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff.
And don't misunderstand Chris, because Chris doesn't say that only rich people make rich people. You could have an average father and become a rich person too.
Absolutely. But it's not even become. It's just becoming comfortable, guys. You don't need.
Yeah, I know. A million's not rich. You're right.
Yeah, but it's not only that. It's just that the target is not become rich. The target is don't depend on money. Yeah. And don't do work where you just show up somewhere and warm up a chair. You don't want to do work like that either.
Yeah, but that though, it's a very fine line, and because a lot of the kids that are now, I don't know what they're called, Gen Z or whatever they're called, whatever the kids that are getting into the workforce now, because and I believe that they have a lot more knowledge at their age than we did when we were their age. That's for sure. It's hands down. Their expectations are so high that I feel, based on what I've seen personally and from what people have told me, that it's like this awkwardness in the workspace where, because they believe that this is what I am, they believe that I'm going to jump from point A to point B no matter what. And like we said before, you have to determine what steps, what steps you need to take in between. It's created this atmosphere in this workplace where they just don't fit. You know what I mean? Their expectations are so high that it's like, dude, you got to get in touch with reality also at some point. And maybe I'm generalizing, but
I'm split on that. Because I work in an office and worked in an office. I've seen it. Like I coach people like that. Like I lead people like that in a way. This is where it's at. You're right. The expectations are high. They want to make an impact very, very quickly. They don't really see the learning curve. They want to go from A to B very, very quick. But right now, I don't know what the stats are, but let's say they're 20% of the market. Eventually, they're going to be 30, 40, 50. Eventually, they're going to be maybe 90% of the market, and 10% is going to be the gen, whatever it's called. So they're going to be in control. That means they're going to shape the market. So you know what I mean? So you can't have, they're going to shape what the new market is. So
the new bosses are going to cater to that mentality.
That's right. And it's already seeing
and the proof is that people can't find employees. People are like, it's hard for people to find employees apparently.
And when you can't find employees, guess what? You pay. And when you pay, guess what? You're going to get people. So there is going to be a bit of a balance, but you're right. A lot of people are thinking that, but I think they're stuck in a very old mentality because it's going to go fast now. It's going to go. I think. Well, I don't know. I think this is an opinion from what I've read, from what I've seen. It's very probable that all our kids are going to have a job that doesn't exist yet. Statistically, we have 2 kids each. That makes 6 kids. 100% are probably going to have a job that doesn't exist yet.
Positions haven't been.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Yeah. Well, it's
scary. It's just that you
just described how
it's unknown.
His dad didn't understand the job that he was trying to describe to him about his buddy who did marketing. Same kind of thing.
Yeah. Like what's marketing strategy for my dad? You know, like I'm an engineer, like I'm in a big category, and he still doesn't know what I do exactly. You know what I mean? Because I'm an engineer. So, but the engineer is like this big category, right?
So he thinks you're employed by an architect.
Yeah, whatever. So yeah, exactly. Yeah.
he tells the architect what to do, and
The architect tells Chris what to do.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
So it is interesting to start having conversation like that. And you know what? I think I'm aware.
It's
I'm
proof
probably
that
a lot of times
they're going to figure out how to get there, I guess, in ways that we can teach them in terms of what's out there coming. So they're not going to get that from us. They're going to get the fundamentals from us.
Yeah, and I see a lot of entrepreneurial opportunities,
stuff like that.
See, look, and I'm gonna get back to what I was saying before because it still boggles my mind a little bit because I've seen a lot of these kids, and maybe because of how we were brought into the workforce and the discipline that we were taught, right? It's like, listen, you're gonna eat shit, you're gonna learn, you're gonna evolve, and that's pretty much the journey we've all been through. I mean, we've seen toxic environments, we've been yelled at, and to a certain extent,
if you're lucky, at the end of the day, they'll let you laugh at the joke.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, and to a certain extent, we weren't allowed to quit. It was fucking deal with it. That's your job. He's your boss. Do what he tells you. And even, I mean, at some point, I mean, I remember places where I worked, it was like, it just didn't work anymore. It was like, I don't need this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it made you stronger as an employee. It built your discipline. It built your concentration, your focus. It taught you how to judge characters. Who's good? Who's not good? Who can I deal with? Who can I not deal with? You know what I mean? Who do I block out? Who do I block out? And who do I?
Yeah. But these are fundamentals, George.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that. And again, maybe I'm generalizing, but from what I've seen, it just seems that the new generation now that is getting into the marketplace is not going to go through that. It's going to be like, look, I'm here to make the big bucks. If you're going to give it to me, ciao, bye. It's like, what are you going to learn though? Like, how are you going to mold yourself to deal with the different, you know, the politics, the attitudes, the frustrations, the happiness, like all these things that come into play in every single work environment. What scares me is that the new generation won't have, you know, the
attitude,
backbone to confront these situations. And I don't want to.
I'm torn on it, man. I'm torn on it. I get what you're saying, but there's a high adaptability factor that I think we're ignoring. Yeah. There is, and there's also, don't forget, the other way of seeing this is that the skill set or the skill sets that we had to learn in order to get us through the door were skill sets that don't matter as much today, right? The first skill sets everyone learns is what? Maybe punctuality, okay, take orders, learn how to do a couple of things.
Don't
talk back. Yeah, subordination, right? So these are things that will get you at the minimum wage. Like when somebody says, how much you get paid? I get paid minimum wage. Minimum wage means you have those skill sets. Like if you get paid minimum wage plus $1, that means you could do that plus something else. These kids are coming out with a little bit more skill set now. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's directly to the, no, you're right. I see what you're saying. But you know, look, they'll adapt. And you know what? Employers are going to have to kind of bend a little bit backwards to accommodate. And that's what they're doing now. That's what they have to, or else they're going to, guess what?
Because you're talking about skill set, and it's fine. I agree with you 100%. They obviously.
But what you're talking about, George, what you're talking about is getting the fundamentals, but with a minimum wage job. Chris is saying they're going to get them, but they're coming out of school, they're getting a high-end paying job, and they're going to learn these things.
They're skipping that step or two.
I'm not talking about that because, yeah, you're right. In terms of the skill set, they're coming out, they know a lot more than what we did at their age. But their interpersonal skills, their, you know, whatever.
The interpersonal skills lack a bit because they're obviously a little bit socially inept.
You know, they're self.
It also comes with having more skills. You're less social also. Studying and learning and all that.
Like, what do you call it? The soft skills, whatever they're called.
Interpersonal, intrapersonal.
Like that sort of thing. I feel like they're kind of lagging behind just because their expectations are set to a certain extent, to a certain point where it's unrealistic to think that you're
Yeah.
out of school and you're gonna hit, you're gonna be a director just because you studied whatever. Fuck, I don't know. You have a master's or whatever. The market doesn't have that capacity, or maybe it does. I don't know.
No, but it's changing, man. It's changing. Even look at like guys like Elon Musk and a few other guys. They're starting to hire people without degrees now. That means they're looking for the malleability aspect of employees. It's like, okay, come in. Do you have a good attitude? Right? Are you ready to learn? I'll teach you everything you need.
Right.
And there's training, there's online courses, there's webinars, there's all sorts of stuff. So I don't think you need that learning curve as much. I agree with you that, yeah, there's a bit of lack in interpersonal, intrapersonal, but they're smart enough. And don't forget the values change, right? So the baby boomer tended to be a little bit more loyal, meaning he was able to give his whole life to a company for 25, 30 years, maybe change a couple of times, retire, right? Take out the RRSPs and his pension, and he was happy. Today, you'll see people go back and forth maybe in a year, maybe 2 jobs, or change every 2 years. So it's a different value system, right? So all this is in play. And look, the market adapts and they adapt. But one thing that's common is money. It's still how you think of money. And if you're able to make it, if you have a good relationship with it, if you have a shitty relationship with money, you're going to suffer.
So, so let's just touch on another topic now. Your kids, do you tell them or ask them what they want to be? Do they tell you what they want to be? And if they tell you what they want to be, are you like, yeah, just no, you're not gonna be that. Like, yeah, you're not gonna be like whatever. I don't know.
One tells me he wants to be rich, and the other one tells me he wants to be a boss.
There you go.
Fuck off! We're not there yet.
No, I know, but
we're not there yet.
Our kids are like, my daughter wants to be a ballerina or a princess, or I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm in that zone now. Forget about it.
She's gotta marry a royal, tell
her. But you, Chris, like your eldest, is he thinking about things he likes or what he wants to be? Are you asking him like out of curiosity? What do you see?
No. I think it's the wrong question. I even think at school when they ask what do you want to be, no, it's who do you want to be. I don't ask what do you want to be. It's not centered around a profession.
Right.
It's who do you want to be? Who are you right now? And what do you want to develop yourself into? So it's like, okay, let's work on your strengths. Let's work on your weaknesses. Are we good at that? Hey, do you like that? Do you hate that? And that's another topic we can have. But anyway, but I'm more like that. I told you, I'm not going to start telling him, do you want to be an accountant when I think accounting is going to be done by a machine in 20 years.
Right. That, man.
You know what I mean? It's like
11-year-old kid to love accounting.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to tell him, hey, be self-aware. You see here, are you good here? Do you think you're good? Do you think you have value? Yeah, you're valuable here. And I'm a big believer, and this I learned late in my life, but it's almost like I apply it. If you have a weakness, you don't try to make that better. You're weak there. Yeah. You're going to take too much of an eternity to get a weakness into a strength. But it takes less effort to turn a very good strength into something extraordinary. So, like, work on that. And you know what? Eventually, you're going to hire your weakness. You're probably going to collaborate with somebody who could complement you. But you know what I mean? So things have changed, guys.
You don't need to be perfect at everything. No?
You don't. Yeah, exactly. You don't need to be perfect at everything.
So what is he saying now? Has he told you what he's thinking or what he likes or what he likes?
Oh, he's still at the dream stage, man. He's at the dream stage. But I don't discourage anything.
Oh, but that's fine.
Oh, you know what? Maybe, like I tell him, look, man, you want to become a soccer player? You see all those videos you see? Can you make it happen? It's very hard. Are you willing to do it? If you're willing to do it, I'm here for you. Mm-hmm. You know, and then sometimes it doesn't feel like practicing. It's like, hey, how are you going to get there? So then he says, you know what, I want to become a YouTuber. Great. Let's do it. Show me your plan. I don't know what to do yet. Well, okay. Go write something, figure out something that's more than a minute long, and then I'll help you. Yeah. So it's not, you see, I don't discourage. I just guide and I support, and it's all him. But I try to give the good advice, man. I'm trying to give advice that won't hurt him.
It's crazy to notice these trends, right? Because when we were kids, like I remember I wanted to be a fireman, but just because I found it cool. So that was the trend. Oh, look at this guy. Wow. Red truck. And, it's cool. Now, look how much it's changed, bro. It's like,
yeah, man.
I want to make videos.
George, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Seriously, in a year, I might change. Yeah. I might go do something else. I might do something else in 6 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to do things. You got to do things you like, you're good at.
I'm just saying that, the reference points have just shifted tremendously. It's like, the cool thing for us was a policeman, a fireman. Yeah. We had the hockey player too, though. I remember in school. Remember when the teacher's like, okay, it was an art project, and it's like draw what you want to be, and all the boys in the class brought a hockey card. They cut off the head and put the school picture. Yeah.
No, but you know what, man? It's like
it was.
I'm almost out of battery.
You have to think. It was fun to think you're gonna be that. It was fun to pretend you were trying, and you figured out on your own it's never gonna happen. You were never disappointed by somebody else. No, but you know what? That dreamer is good to keep alive in your kid.
Yeah. But but being pragmatic at the same time. But I find like some parents kill the dream too quick. Let them dream a bit. Let them imagine things, and they might grow out of it. But don't figure out themselves, though. They have to figure out exactly. Let them figure out themselves. It's not going to happen. Let them figure out themselves that maybe they should look at something else. It's okay. It's okay not to be great. And you know what? How I see it? Yeah, it's fine. And I see it like that. And I see it almost like I'm here to kind of give you the rule book of what I think it is, and I'll guide you. Yeah. But I'll point out little things, and I'm only pointing out the little things so you can know that. But later on, you can point them out for yourself. Right. It's like, hey, by the way, here, did you see this? What do you think of that? Okay. You know what? Then that leads to another conversation. What's interesting is that I'm having this now. A lot of people think I'm crazy that I talk like that with my kid, but he's older. And I know a lot of parents don't even have this conversation, or they're listening to me right now thinking what I'm saying is crazy. But you know what? I find that's how it works out good for us. And you know what? Later on, he'll be like, okay, this and that. I just want to give him, I don't want to discourage him. I want him to figure out his strengths very quick, his weaknesses very quick. I want him to understand that it's all about synergy, collaborating, cooperating with the world. Take a mentality, adopt a mentality where you're serving others. And if you want to go make money and be rich, that's fine. Go fail a few times and it's fine. Don't be the person that at 65 regrets everything they did or everything they didn't do. So we have to teach them how to take risks and know how to manage risks. Take risks. You lose it all, you'll make it again. And you know what? Your true asset is that. Your true asset is not even the money, it's the brain. You lose it all, you'll make it again. But inculcate the habits, hone the skills on your way, learn the information. Like I tell them at school, you're going to go through it because he doesn't really like it, right? It's like,
or the school he didn't like.
Well, he's not your A student. I love school. I can't wait to go to school.
Yeah.
But you have to go through it. So get from it.
Yeah.
You can't escape it. So while you're there, get the information and get out of there. Yeah. Don't be stupid while you're there.
Right.
Don't be stupid while you're there. You're there anyway. How crazy it is that somebody's teaching you something you're not listening. How messed up is that? You're there.
Yeah.
So it's the little thing, and it's obviously hard. It doesn't get it, but I repeat. And you're going to say it's not conventional. It's not, and I might be wrong. I might mess them up. I don't know, but I'm trying to give him the right.
We're here looking at what you're doing. Just
yeah.
Let's see how it works out for them.
I'll test that out. I'll tell you guys, don't do this. This you shouldn't do. Never do this again.
Oh man. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. What do we close on? What do we
wrap that shit up, B? Sorry.
What?
I got the tip of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Money is not bad. Money's good. And I can't think of any problem where having money makes it worse. That's the tip of the day.
That's it. All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Again, follow us on all the social media platforms. Subscribe to YouTube and on all the other audio platforms as well. See you on the next episode. Ciao.
Bye, guys.
Bills, yo.